This is a recording of the Oasis Africa from Made in the Trenches by Ernest H. Griffin. It can be found in your Explorations in Literature textbook starting on page 206. For 80 weary days we had crawled across the burning desert. In all directions stretched the wastes of the mighty Sahara. Sand, sand, and always sand. Hills of sand, valleys of sand, and paths of sand. Sand in the scanty food. Sand in the brackish water. Water that was drunk lukewarm from a clammy, loathsome waterskin. Sand in one's mouth, nose, and eyes. Misery of hunger. Torture of thirst. Unending discomfort of swarming lice. Footsore and weary. But ever before us the pointing finger of the Arab sheik and his ceaseless on. We had started the journey poorly equipped, and now, having lost 2 precious days on the way, it seemed likely that if we did not soon strike the oasis, the caravan would perish of thirst. Clutch tight your water skin on the desert, for there is no charity on the Sahara, and he that has no water shall not drink. One day, the dreaded sirocco had swept upon us. Wrapped in our flowing blankets, we had crouched low beside the kneeling camels while the fiery sandstorm passed over. Sweating in the heat, we had lost the whole day, dreading to be buried alive in the drifting sand. This danger past, we had lost another day making a wide detour to the east in order to avoid the fierce, tameless Tuaregs who were marauding in the district. That was the day when fear laid his hand upon us, when each of us felt the knife at his throat. But the sheik's skillful leading saved us, and taking the caravan through some deep sandy defiles, we passed the raiding party without being seen. Later we heard the Sheik Abdullah had fallen upon the bandits, and the tale of his vengeance is still told in hushed whispers in all the bazaars of Tripolitania, from the secret city of the Senussi to the unveiled walls of Gadames the mysterious. I was at the end of my tether, racked with fever and aching all over. The heavy, old-fashioned Mauser weighed me down, whilst the string of swords marked the place where the cartridge bandolier galled my shoulders. I was uneasy in my mind, too. The Arabs were clearly dejected at not having reached the oasis, and several had already commenced to feel the pangs of thirst. I fancied they looked at me with envious eye as I occasionally gulped down a mouthful of water from my skin. A well-struck blow and the water skin would be theirs. Besides, the infidel was known to carry money, a sum that campfire talk had inflated to large proportions. After a short halt under the blazing sun, the sheik again gave the order to advance. On! I struggled up, but my leaden feet almost refused to bear me. "Mohammed!" I called to my faithful Algerian. "I can do no more. I am done." "Courage, Effendi, courage!" he answered, looking genuinely distressed at my condition. "Still a little way, and we shall sight the oasis. Risk not our lives by lingering in this evil place." "Our lives, Mohammed?" I queried. The Arab drew himself up. "Does the Effendi think I would desert him in his hour of need? But God is good. Let us press on." I took a good drink and lurched forward. I shambled along with clouded brain, but every fibre of my body torn with pain and fatigue. On. Suddenly the sheik stopped and pointed to the south. The caravan halted, and every one prepared his arms. Matchlocks was primed, cartridges rammed home, and swords loosened in their sheaths. Was it at the Tuaregs again across our path? But Mohammed, the keen-eyed, shouted joyfully, "The oasis! The oasis! I see the palm trees!" The Arabs burst into a loud shout of "Thank God!" and with my glasses I could just pick out the tiny patch of green dancing in the hot air. In a short time, we were on the fringe of one of the most delicious spots I had ever seen. The oasis was set in the sand of the desert like an emerald on a shield of gold. The massive green foliage of the graceful palms was delightfully welcome to eyes smarting and sore with the glare of the eternal sand. How delightful it was to sit in the shade of a moss-grown bank, while at one's feet a brook ran babbling, picking its way through the cultivated patches. There it splashed noisily into a clear, round pond, and what pleasure could the gods have given greater than the luxurious bath I enjoyed in it? Then the cool and shady tent and the banquet prepared by Mohammed, with the lavish presents the sheik of the place had sent to me. And above all was the sense of peace and safety, that here, at all events, one could lay down to rest without having to snatch up revolver and rifle to every noise. Now that the sun had set, look for a moment at the pageant or the heavens framed by the open end of the tent. Like a filmy scarf of silver, the Milky Way lay on the dusky bosom of the sky. The beauty of the night was jeweled with the brightest stars that charm the heart of man. Canopus, the great star of prehistoric Egypt, blazed white above the horizon. Sirius shone like a peerless diamond, and Aldebaran like a ruby. Slow and solemnly, the tail of the great bear swept round the pole, like the hand of a mighty timepiece, majestic enough to tell off the hours of eternity. Lulled by the soft music of the brook, and infinite content, I sank back on the soft carpets and was soon in a dreamless slumber.